We were thankful for the rain that came on through this morning because it kept most of us from the 90-degree heat. That's a very temporary break from the heat, though, because we have plenty of 90-degree days lined up for much of next week. But it was still nice to see the rain work on over Indigo Sky Casino and Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri this morning. And you see what it left behind on the rest of the time lapse. After the rain, a little cloudy to start the morning out, and then we saw a good deal of partly sunny skies, which kept us quiet for much of the day, thankfully. But all this rain that came on through this morning certainly added up for many of us. On the average, area-wide, about an inch of rain, just over that to be specific, 1.1 inches. But for areas around the Veda back towards Stockton Lake, there has been a pocket of 3 to 5 inches of rain. That resulted in some flash flood warnings for a time this morning, but those faded away by about 10 o'clock this morning. We kept quiet for much of the afternoon and the evening so far, but I have been keeping an eye on these thunderstorms that have been trying to come out of north central and northeastern Oklahoma. You can see how most of these are gravitating toward the east, but notice the storms around Tulsa sending an outflow boundary out. Winds coming out from the storms. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes these outflow boundaries can try to trigger some additional, at least isolated showers and storms. We'll see if that's the case during the overnight as this tries to skirt across our very far southern counties. With the big story for tomorrow, the heat advisories for northeast Oklahoma. Everybody in northeast Oklahoma until 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, because it'll definitely be hot and humid down there, while the rest of the area will just be, well, back into the heat as we wrap up the weekend tomorrow. At 10:19 on the Saturday night, we're looking okay in Joplin, but still warm and a bit muggy, 77 degrees. Dew point in the lower 70s, trying to make it feel like 78 outside. Most of us are in the mid to upper 70s, but maybe a few spots like Welch and Newata trying to hold on near 80. A little humidity out there is trying to make it feel like the lower 80s in some spots, but eventually we will drop back to about 71 degrees despite some cloud cover out west rolling in. Cloud cover emanating from these bands of showers and thunderstorms. Again, much of that action is going to be riding right along the front. The same front that brought the storms in this morning, parked just to the south of the region. However, it's ready to head back over the region as it lifts north tomorrow because the upper level ridge building to the south, that's definitely going to pick up steam tomorrow. That's what's going to force the front back up to the north. While that might try to bring a few storms our way tomorrow, that's just setting the stage for a pretty hot week ahead of us. Let's break down your Future Track forecast. The Future Track, I think, is doing a good job on what I'm thinking. The storms out west will primarily stay out across eastern and northeastern Oklahoma. But again, can't rule out a few stragglers, maybe a couple isolated showers or storms overnight in our far southern counties, partly to mostly cloudy otherwise. And for some of you that picked up quite a bit of rain this morning, maybe some patchy fog if you can get the skies to clear a little bit. But everybody drops back to 71, mid 80s for a dry afternoon to start things out. But as that front lifts back through, I'm not going to rule out a few isolated storms in the afternoon, but 71 in the morning, 86 by noon, highs near 93. And the reason why those heat advisories are out, everyone may be around 93 tomorrow, but a little hotter northeast Oklahoma, and certainly with more humidity, it's going to feel like at least 105, while the entire region, the rest of the region for that matter, is going to feel like we're close to 100 for tomorrow. But this is what I wanted to show you before we start to send things back over to Chris and Danny. This is our main feature from early next week. That upper level ridge parked on top of the region for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It may not be too terribly humid, but 96 on Monday, 98 for Tuesday, 97 on Wednesday. Well, as that ridge breaks down a little bit, Chris, by the end of the week, hopefully that can send highs back in the lower 90s and allow maybe a storm or two to come back our way.
It's kind of like a little roller coaster out there with these temperatures.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're heading back up on this roller coaster.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the dive.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Danny Terzer.